All right, Reacher. Okay, here's the possible options for the composition challenge. All right, we have option A and then option B. Okay, option A is the option A is the one that I played before. All right, let me turn my fucking bullshit up. In case you're new to this, what happens to the composition challenges is I put out a simple melodic idea, and then you take it and you rearrange it, or remix it, or make a song out of it, and then at the end, I choose a winner, and then the community chooses a winner, and then whoever fucking wins gets $75 fucking dollars. Holy shit. $75 fucking dollars. What are you gonna fucking do with all that money? I don't even know. Probably buy 1/10 of Cubase. All right, this was the option A. Okay, was this shit. Can you hear this shit? Whoops. Oh, let me like actually set up. Sorry, alright. Two chords or whatever. Right, that was the fucking option A. This is the option B. Is this fucking bullshit piece of shit melody? I don't think I've done a composition challenge with this one yet, but this is one from fucking high school. Holy shit. Yeah. All right, this is option B. Okay, sorry, let me do that again. Fuck. Fuck me. That's it. That's option B. Alright, Richard. You're the one fucking... What do you think? I'll do a poll and then I'll get your opinion. Yeah, it's on... Oh, whoa, UK Daza's here. What do you think, UK Daza? Option A and option B. One more time. Option A. Option A, then option B. you think? The audience is split 50-50. Wow! Alright, UK doesn't Reacher. What do you think, guys? I would say A. The one I like the most about A is I fucking really fucking like these, I love those changes. What would this, what mode is this? Wait, I think. The C should be sharp or not. I mean, I guess it's up to you. I don't know. Fuck it, whatever. Alright. Option A then. That's what I'm doing. I'm putting it out tomorrow. Close it off after a month again. And then that's what we're gonna fucking roll with. Let me turn my fucking shit down. Part 1 of A and part 2 of B. I don't think there's any way that I could combine those. I don't. No, it doesn't make sense. Or the other way. No, it doesn't make sense. I don't think it makes sense to combine them. I would have to work with it a lot. Plus, I'd be running out of material too quickly for future composition challenges. Holy shit. The half step between the major chords reminds me of Alamo. I don't know, oh my fucking god, I need to fucking pick up my fucking sax again. Actually, not even. I play around on the piano so much, I almost feel more comfortable improvising on piano than I do saxophone. There's two well-known songs that I'm pretty sure use these movements. The Zelda, the Ganon song, I'm pretty sure. No, the Ganon song doesn't. Wait. The Ganon song moves in thirds, I think. No. Wait, well, let me think. Hold on. Yeah, no, it is the same. Yeah, so the Ganon song uses this movement, and the end of the fucking Mystery Guitar Man. I didn't even watch this fucking movie, but the ending song has the same shit. I've almost bit this just this clip and done this as a composition challenge. This is the same. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know what's going on. I'm starting to get really worried. So, please just call me back. You know what? Forget it. I'm just gonna come over. Okay, there.
Fucking, if you find me any song in any genre that has this movement, I'll probably also like it. Fuck, this sounds so fucking cool. What was the progression of the main part of A? G minor, C minor, E flat, D. Yeah. It's G minor. I mean, I'll post it all. It's G minor, and then C major with a G in the bass, and then E flat, into D, and then the same thing. I don't know about the minor 7. I always just throw that in there because it leads back to the 1 so easily. I don't know. I don't know if I'll keep that or not. It's whatever. All right. Rep. Wait, why are we just gonna link me random shit with violins in it now? Alright, we're done. Stop. Has anyone read Atlas Shrugged? Aren't you fucking... How old are you, Camelise? Aren't you a little bit old to be doing the Ayn Rand drive? I thought that was the high school phase. I could link you some classical dubstep. Go kill yourself. Oh, fuck. Taken 3 comes out tomorrow, boys. Who's gonna come with me? Who's coming with me to the theaters?
Hey, look! It's the State Farm guy.
You pumped up our wallets with the discount double checking, so we want to pump you out.
Sorry, what?
Pull us, you flapping loser!
You'll thank us later.
Pump up your savings with a discount double check. State Farm.
The poster says it ends here. I sure as hell hope so.
Oh, the edge.
Taken 3. So Taken 3 is directed by the director of Taken 2, not Taken 1. Take from that what you will. And in Taken 3, someone kills Liam Neeson's ex-wife, Famke Janssen, and they make it look like he did it. So now the cops are after him. Forrest Whitaker's the cop chasing him, but he needs to go find the one or ones who did it. So the cops are chasing him, and he's chasing who knows who else. Almost a mystery. And now we're watching the movie. All right, this movie had potential. There's a world of difference between potential and reality. I always say that. But you do see potential in this movie. First of all, Forrest Whitaker as an actor, he's good in the movie. He's like Sam Gerard from The Fugitive, not as good, but that's kind of what his character, you can totally tell when they're writing this movie, like, oh yeah, I want to make Sam Gerard from The Fugitive, but not really like him, but And he's chasing Liam Neeson, who is ultimately Dr. Richard Kimball. Oh my god, this movie is a shittier version of The Fugitive. Fugitive's awesome, you should see that shit. Forrest Whitaker's acting has nothing to do with his character. I mean, he's serviceable in the movie, and I know he's a good actor, and he did fine in the movie, but his character is written to be such a cliche. You just roll your eyes, you're like, ugh. I think he's twiddling this chess piece around because someone who's so good at being a detective has to have a little chess piece that he twiddles. Because if a detective has a tick, he is business. But that's not all. He gets 2 ticks, then he has this rubber band that he just wraps around his wrist and does that like thing that chicks would do in elementary school, and they're like, with string. He does that with the rubber band. You're like, whoa, dude has 2 ticks? Holy shit. 1 tick, he's a badass. 2 ticks, he's in Taken 3. And Dr. Richard Liam Neeson in this movie, he's sneaky and he's good at what he does, and that's cool, but to an unrealistic degree. There are a couple scenes. The dude should die. He should have died. Like something happens, something blows up, you're like, Liam Neeson's dead. And it doesn't show him get out of it, it just shows the next scene, he's just away from it and he's alive and he's talking on the phone. He's like, okay, I need to do this now. You're like, how'd you get from A to H? Not A to B, A to H. Doesn't show, it's like, what? Because you can't kill God. That's how. We don't need to show it. You just need to know it can't happen. He's almost supernatural in this movie. It just kind of takes you out of it. The fact is, Taken 1 was a cool movie and kind of a unique experience for what it was. Yeah, it was a kidnapping movie, but it was one of those things where these guys, oh, kidnapped this girl, and you just messed with the wrong family. Liam Neeson's like, I'm gonna come after you guys now. And they're like, shit, bit off more.
Wait, what is this guy talking about? Taken 1 wasn't unique at all. Taken 1 was a super standard revenge flick. That's all it was, but it was awesome. I mean, if you like revenge flicks.
Than we can chew. It was cool seeing him kick so much ass in the movie. You were also intrigued. You're like, all right, we need to follow the trail. We need to piece this shit together. We need to get your daughter back. Now Taken.
Sorry, Cayman, I could be wrong, but I don't think if you're playing something in a mode. Hold on 1 second. Oh, sorry. If you're playing Cayman, if you're playing in a mode, I don't think you can have I don't think you can have chord progressions. I think it's just a mode. Like Aeolian, I don't think, oh, I could be wrong. I don't think Aeolian is the harmonic minor. Like, they have the same notes, but I don't think they function the same, if that makes sense.
Kind of become like the Hangover movies. First one was great. Second one was shitty. Third one, not as shitty as the second one, still shitty. And you can tell the movie's edited. It was like it was filmed to be rated R, and then it was like, no, it's a PG-13 movie. But it was like in post-production.
Alien.
Like, when it looks like...
Okay, so like, all the modes, right? Okay, I don't give a fuck anymore. We're talking about music, because fuck everything. Fuck StarCraft. All the modes are, you can start in the QC. Right? That's the natural bullshit. If you go up 1, that's Dorian. I don't know what the fuck that one is. That's Lydian. That's Mixolydian. That's Aeolian. I think that's Phrygian. But you would never say like you would never say you would never ever say like, oh well, that resolved to the C Aeolian, right? If you're in Locrian? Oh, maybe the second one is Locrian. I don't fucking know. Oh no, Phrygian, then the last one is Locrian. Okay, sorry. You would never say that You would never say that you're like, oh, I'm in C Aeolian, also known as the minor, right? Even though they share the same notes, I think they're functionally different, right? I'm pretty sure they're functionally different, right? Like the harmonic minor, harmonic Aeolian is, what do you even use the harmonic minor for? Wait, is harmonic just with sharp 7? Or am I thinking of, I'm thinking melodic is the weird one. Harmonic is just the, no. Oh my fucking god. Harmonic minor scale is a natural minor scale that the 7th note is raised 1 semitone. Okay, yeah. So the harmonic minor is the Destiny, they're the same. But they're not the same. This is one of those like really, this is like one of those really nitpicky things when you get into music theory, I think. I think, I could be wrong, right? If you were to analyze like, in this song, this is the only example I can think of, it's the only fucking thing I can remember. There's a point in this song where he does this. He goes, fuck, I can't remember it. I can't remember the fucking music. Basically, there's a part in the song where there's a major 7 involved. I don't remember what it is. It goes something like that, right? And technically, there's a B there, and technically it is a major 7. But if you were to analyze it, the analysis, you wouldn't say, oh, he put a major 7 in the bass. You would say, oh, that's a pedal tone or a passing tone, moving from the C down to the B to get to the A to put us in a first inversion F major chord, right? You wouldn't say like, oh, he just has a major 7 in the bass, because functionally, major 7s don't exist in classical music, right? You would never, they don't exist anywhere. You'll never see it because it didn't serve a functional purpose. Much the same way that you would never say like, oh, I'm in the Aeolian, like C minor, also the Aeolian. You would never say Aeolian. That doesn't make sense. What do you mean Aeolian? No, first of all, there's no such thing as the natural minor. There's no such thing as the natural minor in any music, well, in any functional music, because the natural minor doesn't serve a function. You can't. The problem with the natural minor is that you can't. When you go to set up your dominant 7, this minor 7 chord doesn't do anything. That doesn't make sense, right? Like this does, right? Because without the raised 7, you don't get the tritone, which is where you get your resolution that establishes tonality, right? So like technically even though the natural minor might cross over with Aeolian, or even though the harmonic minor might cross over with another thing, you would never refer to them as such because the modes are just the modes, right? If something is in the mode of Dorian, right? A Dorian mode, I don't even think modes have key changes. I could be wrong, right? I don't think. I'm talking to Kimon, okay? Fuck you, I don't give a fuck if you don't know what I'm talking about, because you know what? Suck a dick. That's what. All that matters is whoever is reading the music you wrote can understand it. Well, yeah, but you have to be consistent in how you write things, right? There's a huge difference between a G flat and an F sharp, right? There's a huge fucking difference. You wouldn't just randomly stick in, like if you're in the key of C minor, you want to play the 3rd, you would never call that a D sharp. You would always be referred to as an E flat. Even though technically they're the same note, putting a D sharp there functionally doesn't mean anything. It's confusing to read, right? Modes are used for improvisation. I'm pretty sure they are. Destiny, you can use a mode like a scale and write a song within it quite easily. Yeah, but you wouldn't, if you were like analyzing a song, you wouldn't say like, oh, this is in the Dorian mode if it's like a classical composition with all functional chords, right? You might say that like, oh, well, like in this passage, like these notes, like this is a Dorian pattern, but you would never you would never say like, oh, it switches to Dorian mode for this thing, you know? Destiny, you sound really stupid. Well, thanks, Subscorpion Zero. I appreciate it. Destiny, I never understood why composers did that kind of shit. It just fucked with the people who were uninformed, swiftly sifting through their furniture for a non-existent note. Wait, and what do you mean, Ryukin? Did I ever take a music theory lesson? I took music in college. I fucking loved music theory. If you're alternating between two chords... Oh, okay. If you're alternating between two chords, like in all the music that I do, right? In all of my shit, in all of my fucking bullshit, when you've got stuff like this. Technically, I would say that you would probably call that, I don't think you would call it atonal, but I don't know if you would analyze that as being as like part of a key. Like, is it an A flat major because it goes A flat, E flat? I mean, kinda, but you don't really establish tonality ever with like movement of fourths or fucking dominant sevenths or anything. I think I don't know. I call that modal music, but it might not necessarily be called that. But when you're bouncing back and forth between two keys or two chords, usually that's like modal kind of shit. It's not like you don't have like a bunch of functional progressions there, you know? Can you play a fucking game? I'm fucking tired, mate. I don't know if I want to play fucking games, alright? Destiny, that's all the same scale / mode. Well, it's two different chords, mate. So, like, another thing people forget in this era of infinite sonic possibilities is that many instruments in human history have been fixed to certain scales, and so these limitations are built into a lot of composition historical terminology. Yeah, of course, but I mean, those the limitations that we have on how we write notes and like our tempered system, our system of scales and everything, that's not arbitrary, right? Like the way that the frequencies relate to each other create vibrations that are meaningful, right? Why is music theory important to you? Because it helps you understand sound. Wouldn't a more heuristic approach to this make better music? Well, you can learn the theory and you can do other shit too. You don't have to just restrict yourself, but the music theory just explains why everything happened. The only time I've ever used modes is in associating modes with chord changes in jazz. Yeah, I mean, I guess you can do that. Sure. If you get into more complicated jazz, it's past me. I wouldn't understand. Back in the day, there was an equal temperament. That's why scales used to be said to have a different feel. No. Oh God, what's the difference? Where's Richer at? Richer. You've got the tempered. There's two different ways. Fuck me, I don't remember. There's two different ways It's like even temperament and just intonation. Are those the two different things? I don't think the feeling is that much different. If you have a really fucking good ear, then maybe you'll be able to hear the difference, right? Because when somebody plays like a C major, I think the difference is like even temperament is these notes. C will always be a certain frequency, E will always be a certain frequency, G will always be a certain frequency. But in a just intonation scenario, like in a concert band, your band director might say the E needs to come down a few cents so that the ratio fits in with the chord better, if that makes sense. That gets into like really complicated stuff. In my personal opinion, I don't think the average person, I wouldn't be able to tell probably. I mean, maybe I could. If I were like in super tryhard mode and I had one hand around my dick and the other hand like right up to my fucking head, maybe I could tell the difference, right, with my training and all that shit. But honestly, and just like listening to music, I don't know if I could just right away pick up like, oh, just intonation, oh, even temperament. I don't, and definitely not like the average person, I don't think. Go drink, DMC. I'm tired as fuck. I'm going to sleep soon. When you hear it side by side, it's really noticeable. Yeah, but you don't listen to it side by side in the real world. You're not going to listen to somebody who plays something even temperament and somebody who plays something like just intonation. The difference is that major thirds are quite dissonant. Yeah, that's why I was saying, like, in a concert band or in an orchestra, you might have the director tell you that the third needs to come down a little. You need to flatten the third a little bit to bring the ratio in more, I think. Violin should never be played with equal temperament. Yeah, that's what I don't want to generalize because I've never played in an orchestra before, but I'm pretty sure that every orchestra and every concert band will be playing will be using just intonation. Your director will help you in tuning different chords different ways. The C that you play as part of a melody isn't going to be tuned the same way that C will be as part of an A flat chord, right? No, the other dude was right. That most people will tend towards just intonation. Do, right? If someone were to tell you to sing an interval, do, like you would always, the interval that you would sing, I don't know that was perfect now, but if you were to line up a choir, they would probably tune it themselves in such a way that a piano wouldn't be in tune because of the temperament and the tonation, right? Wait, so what happens? So then I'm curious because I don't know if you were to have like an orchestra playing with piano, do they all fuck themselves or what do they do? How does that work? I'm curious now. Because the piano can't modify its tuning at all. So what does the rest of the ensemble do? Does everybody just change the way they do everything or? No one cares about the piano and orchestra? Is it just so minor or the sound is so small that you just ignore it? I guess normally the piano would be playing you all tuned to the piano? Oh, well that sucks. So when the orchestra's playing big ass chords and shit, everything is just even temperament? You just fucking whatever? The ensemble does not tune to the piano. Uh-oh. Source orchestra for 8 years. The orchestra tunes to the piano. Oh shit! Don't listen to these idiots. It does not tune to the piano. Depends on the role of the piano. Piano can't change tunings. You always need to listen to more John Cage. I'm pretty sure it tunes to the piano. Oh, well. I was in the New Jersey Philharmonic, and it's to the piano. Oh, shit. Did you guys ever have, Somebody, I found this trailer the other day. I was talking to a buddy, and I didn't even know this fucking movie existed. Does anybody, dude? I was getting like the fucking PTSD. Anybody ever have those like crazy fucking directors? Those crazy directors that would get hella fucking mad when kids in like either jazz band or concert band would fuck up. This is gonna be, if you're a rhythm section bro and you sucked, this might trigger the fuck out of you.
3, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Rushing or dragging?
Rushing.
So you do know the difference.
Oh shit. The worst part is that after the director calls you out on it, you're too fucking nervous. You're too nervous to like do anything else. And then when you get caught not listening, that's like the worst, right? Is when everybody's had this moment in concert band, in fucking orchestra, where somebody fucks up and the director fucking stops the entire fucking rehearsal and stares at a person, and like somebody's fucking playing too loud, and they like look at him and they're like, who the fuck has the melody at measure 242? And like some fucking French horn dude is just like staring, and then the director asks, and he's like, who has the melody at measure 242? And he knows that it's not him, but he doesn't fucking know. Oh my god. And then you have the entire band or the entire orchestra stop and play that section again, and then he'll ask you again at the end, who has the melody? I had some fucking crazy directors. One guy would throw a pencil at you if you fucked up. Mark it so you don't miss it next time. Oh shit. That was the bassist in my jazz band. He always got shit on. Oh shit. Or when the director asks, were you flat or sharp? Are you flat or are you sharp? And you don't know. Were you rushing? Were you dragging? Fuck, I don't know. Can you hear it? Then you'll have the entire band play, and he'll have just you play the section. Do you think you were rushing or were you dragging? So you can hear it. Oh shit. The fucking triggers. The fucking triggers. Everybody in America play professional music or some shit. Why does Destiny think a lot of people have these experiences? Oh no, in the United States, most of us play instruments. Almost all of us do. We're very cultured in the United States. Almost everybody is a musician or artist of some sort. I think like 45% play instruments professionally. The other 55% either do sculpting or art. Unfortunately, you Europeans are behind the times with how cultured America is. Destiny, why would you put up with that bullshit? I mean, if you're there to learn, having some ass clown yell at you doesn't help. Man, I don't know. It's like, this is like, I don't know. It's really interesting. That's a really interesting question. Different people respond to it in different ways. I always thought that, when I started out in high school, for whatever reason, I had a decent aptitude towards the saxophone. I picked it up pretty quickly, and I went from I picked up saxophone my freshman year in high school. And sophomore year, I'm pretty sure I was first chair on the all-state band. It might have been second chair, first saxophone, second chair, but I think it was first saxophone, first chair. But there were like 3 or 4 of us. I don't remember. But I'd made like decent progress, right? I'd made pretty good progress. I remember that when I did my freshman year of high school band, which was like fucking beginner band, literally we spent the entire year learning scales, the band teacher would baby us. He would super baby us, right? Because he wanted us, he knew we were just being gentle or whatever. And I remember that I wanted to play in jazz band my freshman year. I wanted to play in jazz band my freshman year. I really wanted to. And the band teacher told me, you probably shouldn't. If it's your first year in saxophone, you're just probably not going to be good or whatever. But I said I really wanted to. So the second half of school, he let me try to play in the jazz band. And I remember that the first time we sat down, there was some song, and there were staccato markings over a passage, right? It was like dun 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 right? That was the passage. And when we got to that section, I played it horribly wrong. I went duh, 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 instead of like duh, duh, duh. Basically, I fucked the notes up. I missed the staccato completely. And I remember that he stopped the entire band, and he was like, Steven, and I was like, yeah, and I knew I'd fucked up. And he was like, what's the marking over the notes in measure 2 or whatever? And I was like, there's staccato markings. And he's like, well, why didn't you play it that way? And I was like, and then he was like, mark it so you don't miss it next time. I was like, okay. But I remember that when he called me out there, I don't know, when he called me out, it made me feel like, I don't know, like I was disappointed in myself because I knew that he thought that I could play it better. I knew that usually if our band director was being critical of somebody, he was always the most critical of some of the most talented people. I'm not saying I was the most talented in a band, but he was always critical of people that he thought could do better, right? So every time that he called me out on a mistake that I made, and he'd never done it up till that point, when he called me out, I remember thinking like, oh fuck, like I shouldn't have fucking missed that. And I remember that I went to the practice room after that and I played down that entire fucking song over and over and over and over again. So that I wouldn't fuck that part up again, because I knew that I wouldn't, because I shouldn't, right? So some people look at that type of training and they're like, oh, like why do you gotta be such a fucking dick all the time? I think that on some people, I think that it has its merits. I think that on other people, maybe they just need to be babied more. I don't know. I really like that. Destiny, how is that comparable to the director in the movie? He's literally hitting them. Well, I mean, my director and band would be not that bad. The most extreme thing that I can remember, the problem is like you got to remember, like, fuck dude, if you're a conductor and you're fucking directing music, you're fucking in it, man. You're plugged in. You've got fucking like chords like from the fucking band plugged right into your fucking heart. You're the entire band is your instrument, and when you're in the middle of a song and you know what you're supposed to hear, and you're cueing in sections, and you're controlling the tempo and the volume on other sections, and you cue somebody in, or you're directing somebody fucks up, it's an incredibly jarring experience. I think that's one of the reasons why directors, I'm stereotyping, I don't have a lot of experience with directors. I'm only maybe a couple dozen, right, from all the Allstate experience and whatnot. But usually if you fuck up in the middle of that while a conductor is conducting, it's a very jarring experience, and usually they get really emotional when they're correcting you about it. It's not like you're sitting in a classroom. My director would slam his sheet music. Yeah, it's not like you're sitting in a classroom and like, oh, you missed a math problem, like correct it. You're in part of a movement of a piece of music that's supposed to evoke emotion. That's the whole point of music, right? And then somebody fucks up and they take you out of it in a very violent and jarring way, you know? But I always thought that was interesting. I always thought it was interesting that people have like very different approaches. Some people think that like if somebody like, I don't know, like if somebody insults you, like some people look at it as, God, this guy's such a fucking asshole, like fuck this dude. And other people I think see it as a challenge, right? Like, oh, well fuck, like I know I could do that better, right? I feel like the latter is more conductive than the former. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's my personal opinion. When we watched that, one clip, where's the guy that calls everybody where they're selling houses or whatever? What's the name of that clip that we used to watch?
Oh, have I got your attention?
When we used to watch this clip, right?
Second prize.
There was a Wired article, a Cracked article or whatever, where he talks about a lot of the same stuff. I don't know who the fucking author is, but it's interesting. It seems like
Because you drove a Hyundai.
when people watch this, there's always like two really distinct reactions. You know, half the people are like, God, this guy's such a fucking asshole, and the other half are like, okay, well, I gotta get my shit together and fucking do this, right? I feel like people respond to this very differently, but I want to say I think it's telling of your character how you respond to it, but that's because I fall on one side, so I mean I could be really biased. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. You want me to play this? This scene is very this is pretty intense.
A always B, B, C closing. Always be closing. Always be closing.
Is this movie worth watching? I think I might watch it. Destiny. Most professionals don't need to be humiliated to succeed. It's not about humiliation. There's I wish I remember what it was. This isn't just something that people show in movies to make you no, this is very, very, very real. There are different coaches have very different ways of approaching things. I wish I could remember when I was younger I watched like a documentary about like a scene or whatever. There was an Olympic coach. There was an Olympic coach that had a really, really rough style of coaching the girls that he worked with, and he was a total fucking asshole. But I don't know I don't know. It's hard. I don't know. I guess like philosophically, there's like so much different shit that ties into this. I remember that there were teachers and there were directors that I've worked with where when they said like good job or like nice job, you guys nailed it, or that was really good, like, yeah, okay. I mean, cool. Like when they say that, oh yeah, like I feel good, like, you know, it's okay, like the guy said it, you know. But the real asshole directors that were like super on your ass or whatever, when you did something, when you nailed something and you finally got something right that was up to their standard, even if they didn't say anything, if you had a conductor and you finish and he cue and the last note comes down and they hold time at the very end, you know, nobody claps yet because he hasn't, you know, put his baton down and the entire orchestra band still has their instruments up. I don't know, like, I feel like pleasing those people or getting, like, a good job out of those people, it felt like a billion times more. To me personally, and I've heard other people say similar things, to where, like, if you get the good job out of that one coach that's a huge stickler, like, the amount of good feels you get from that are, like, infinitely greater than just getting another good job from a teacher that's giving out gold stars for participation, you know? For obviously, because some people bring in chat. Yeah, I'm not talking, this is for like professional level stuff or somebody that's pushing like an advanced course or like something like you're going for like super high, like all state orchestra, all state band or like, you know, AP or fucking, you know, professional college tier. I'm not saying that like a guy steps into like a grade 1 band class or like a grade 1, like, hey, I'm a freshman and I want to do like, you know, third string football. And like the coach should be like, this is, I don't know. This is like, they have the discussion you were having in the movie, especially about pushing people to links deemed not appropriate. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like... It's so weird because different people respond, like, so differently. I don't know, I feel like if you're getting into like this, there's so much like subjective territory in here, right? Where different people respond differently to different treatments and people are so different. People break in different ways and people respond to adversity in different ways. But I feel like, I don't know, like if you're really passionate about going after something and you've got a teacher who you respect and you know they're good and they're giving you shit over it. Like, I feel like if you're really passionate about it, I feel like it's a challenge to succeed and it's a challenge to get that okay from that person. And it's so much more conductive to you. This is like so subjective. Maybe people view this totally different. I don't know. I feel like it's more motivation rather than just somebody that's like, oh, well, you know, you fucked it up. But I mean, like, oh, you'll get him next time. Or like, oh, I mean, man, it happens. You know, you'll get it. Good job. You know, rather than the guy that's like, this fucking terrible. What the fuck were you thinking? Like, oh my fucking God. Like, why the fuck are you even in my studio right now wasting my fucking time? Like, go fucking, you know, go back down a level and practice more. And then maybe next year you'll be ready. You know, I don't know. Like, I feel like, I don't know. There can be a middle ground. Yeah, maybe. Why participate on either side? Why not just focus on the objective truth? Well, because sometimes when you're pushing yourself, that's not enough at the end of the day. If you're doing something competitively, or you're pushing to be the best at something, or you're pushing to a level that the average person will never get to, it's not enough to just say like, oh, well, I did a little bit better. Like, I don't know. I feel like you've got to like reach in and find. But we're getting like into super pseudo territory. But I feel like you need something deeper. That's like with that human perseverance, whatever fucking bullshit. I don't think that at the end of it, you're like, okay, improved a little bit. Like my objectives are like, I feel like you have to like you have to want it. Like you have to go after it. Like you have to be right. It's the difference between I don't know. I have personal experience dealing with people that had this kind of mentality, right? Like, there's so many different excuses that you could find to not do something, but like the person that really wants to get it done will get it done, regardless. Like people that fail find a million reasons not to, and like a million reasons not to succeed. But the person that wants to succeed really badly will, you know, try to resist all ways of failure, right? I don't know. Too many people confuse pushing someone to the extreme with just hurting them. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's possible. I mean, I'm pretty lazy. I can't even keep up with my gym shit. I guess it's just because I'm not really passionate about it. I will be, okay? In a couple weeks or whenever Therese is gone, we're gonna do them gym passions, all right? It's gonna happen. Is me becoming a full-time streamer / pro gamer an example? No, I've been super complacent. I haven't pushed myself super hard to do anything for the past fucking couple of 5 years. I've been pretty complacent doing the streaming thing. Destiny, what do you think about the notion that process orientation over results orientation leads to more personal growth? Obviously, becoming competitive is something that's entirely different, but I find that if I see everything that I do as a goal in and of itself, then I'm constantly growing and expanding new directions. If I'm validated entirely by the end result, I'm setting myself up for disappointment as I take in new information. I don't understand the question. Not to spoil the movie or anything, but they have a discussion where someone would not have been discovered if they hadn't thrown a symbol at their head. Oh, fuck. I should know this. Gordon? Parker? It was a saxophone player, I thought. I want to say it was, the Charlie Parker dude. I don't know if I read this in connection to the movie or if we learned about this in school. I don't remember. It was a Charlie Parker guy, though, right? Yeah. Why did I don't remember. I might have came across this while I was looking up information about this movie. I don't remember. I don't think the story... I think the story was embellished a little bit, though. I don't think they actually threw, like, the symbol at his head. I could be wrong, though. This guy was a really good saxophone player. Holy fuck. I really firmly believe in the notion of creating positive habits rather than setting goals. If you make a good habit and make good decisions at any event, you're setting yourself up for success. I don't know. That's a deep... I'd have to think about that for a long time. Destiny, don't you realize motivation is purely reactionary to an external event in your life, forcing you to change or give up completely and become apathetic about everything? No amount of motivational speeches and watching videos will create a real drive in you. There's actually a real psychological phenomenon where watching like motivational videos and like telling people about the things that you're doing give you like really good feelings, but they don't create like lasting things at all, right? Like when you tell everybody about like a new diet you want, or you tell everybody like, oh, I'm going to the gym now, or you tell everybody stuff like that, or like you bring it up a lot, or you talk to people, it creates something in the mind where you get like a huge like burst of fucking reward. I don't know if it's oxytocin or whatever the fuck, hormones or whatever bullshit, but like you feel really good about it, but it doesn't actually like push you to finish it, you know? I don't think motivational speeches or anything have ever motivated somebody to do anything ever. Right? I mean, like, they look good, and you look at them, and they make you feel good for a moment, but I don't think they actually motivate you to get up and do something, you know? Dopamine? Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. Endorphins? I don't know. Destiny, this video explains it. Like me, a 45-minute video?
I certainly don't want to pretend a caring...
Nothing gets done without discipline and willpower. Yeah, that's the hard... That's really, like, when you talk about, like, succeeding or whatever, motivation and all that shit, it's not really, like Like, the motivation thing is actually like one of the least important things about succeeding in anything in your entire life ever. It actually comes down to like ruthless fucking discipline. Like, motivation is actually really easy. To be motivated to go to the gym, anybody can be motivated to go once or twice. Like, it's the easiest fucking thing in the world, and you feel good after that 1 or 2 times. But it's getting like that actual like rigid schedule down, that actual set discipline. That's the really fucking hard part. But it seems like everybody, when people talk about things, they always focus on like the motivating part. Like, oh, I just gotta be fucking pumped. We just gotta fucking watch the Arnold motivation thing one more time. If I just watch this video one more time, I'll be motivated enough to go to the fucking gym every day.
Champion. I wanted to be the best bodybuilder of all times. Didn't believe, after all, what is the point of being on this earth if all you want to do is be liked by everyone, to get into acting, you want to be a star in films. Everyone had the same line that it can't be done. I'll be back. One of the most famous lines in the movie history, all because of my crazy accent.
Oh, now that we watched this, we don't have to go to the gym today because now we feel good as fuck about ourselves. Whoops. You can't make such sweeping statements like you are now. Okay, well, in my experience as a human being, and everybody that I ever met, any musician I ever met in college that was successful, I had never met a single one. It all comes down to, like, I don't know. I said this a lot of times with personal experience in my life and from what I've seen being successful. If you want to be successful in life, it literally comes down to how fucking hard can you fucking work? What kind of fucking, like, tenacity is literally the most important fucking thing you can have. Like, that's it. Literally, that's it. It all comes down to tenacity. I've said that like a million fucking times. You can, I'm pretty sure that if you talk to any successful athlete, if you talk to fucking anybody that's been really good at something, they'll always tell you that tenacity is the most important thing. Natural talent has nothing to do with anything. Your genetic, whatever, any other bullshit has nothing to do with anything. Right? Like when we watched the, remember when we watched the Jackie Chan thing? Jackie Chan, every frame, picture, it's every... Right? When he throws the fan? What does Jackie say when he throws the fan? Hold on.
Gives him months to shoot a fight.
And the most difficult thing is when I throw the fan and coming back, more than 120 tick. Those kind of things, oh, Jackie, good. It's not good. You can do it. Except, do you have the patience or not?
Will Smith says the same thing. What's the fucking thing where he talks about treadmill bullshit? Talent, skill, success. Hard work versus talent. He has like a thing where he's like, oh, fucking... the treadmill. Hold on, let's find it.
And that you were on this path.
Oh, here we go.
Yourself. The only thing that I see that is...
Come play with us. 4 words you will never hear from the NFL.
Who wants dessert?
From Lincoln Center?
This movie looks really interesting. I don't think this movie isn't even... I don't even think this movie's about music. This is like, Oh, man, this movie looks sick as fuck. Somebody link me the fucking... I'll buy it. Is this isn't like on Amazon Prime, or is it anything? This guy's a fucking cunt. Like, I bet you could watch the movie and there are gonna be people that think that this guy is a fucking cunt. But it's like, I don't know, like when there's one thing that you want more than anything else, like nothing else matters. Does that make sense? Like if there's one thing that you desire, whether it's some kind of thing that you want, that you cherish over everything else, literally everything can fuck off and die and fall to the wayside in your pursuit of that one thing, right? It's about being an edgy teen. You're fucking retarded. But I mean, if you're too like mentally incompetent to fucking understand the fucking message, I mean, if you want to just call it edginess because you're too stupid to understand otherwise. I mean, I understand things that challenge my mindset scare me too, mate. Alright. I'm downloading this. I'm watching this tonight. I'm doing it. Isn't it naive to want a short, shitty life just so people talk about you after you're dead? You're totally missing the point, Dr. Polito. What do this isn't that hard to understand. It's not like we're talking about like the subtlety of like a fucking Greek tragedy or something. This is like smashing you in the face. It's the difference between following what the guy on the left, right? It's the difference between following like a normal path and growing up as a normal functional human being and having normal friends and a normal job and a normal life and being happy and just being content versus the guy on the right who is insanely fucking ambitious, who would give up fucking anything that he could possibly give up to attain one goal that he sees as being greater than any other convenience that life has to offer, right? So whereas the guys on the left, they're like, oh, well, you know, you can have a good wife, you can have a family, you can have friends, like all this fucking shit, right? The guy on the right doesn't care about any of that. He just wants this one thing. In this movie, I guess, I haven't seen it, but obviously he wants to be one of the greatest drummers of all time, right? That's what he wants, right? So it's that dichotomy of, I mean, I'm assuming that the movie presents it as a dichotomy of you can either be a content, whatever, blah, 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 or fuck everything else and go after the one thing, right? One shot, one opportunity. Isn't sacrificing everything for one goal some kind of mental illness? I mean, it might be, depending on how obsessed you are, sure, I mean. That's pretty rare to want something that badly, though. Yeah, it is pretty rare. That's why there are only so many of the greatest kinds of people. But do you think, like, if you go back to any of the greats, I can only speak about musicians. Well, I mean, it's the same with athletics, too. It's the exact same with, like, the Olympics and the athletics. Like, those people, like, do you think that those Olympic people, the people that, like, are the Olympic champions in their teens, like, do you think that they go out every Friday, Saturday night and hang out with their friends, or they're texting after school? Like, I think that people, like, severely underestimate, like, how much of your life you have to give up to be that athletically competitive, especially for some of those people that do early Olympic stuff. Like, these are people that literally fucking, like, will wake up at 5 a.m. for conditioning, go to school, during lunch they'll like practice a routine, and then after school they'll spend like 4 or 5 hours practicing and then go home, go to sleep and do it like over again. Like, it's not like people that want to be like the greatest at something or like at an Olympic or ultra athletic competitive level. Like, these aren't like normal people that will just do it for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes a night and really practice it. These people like make it like their life, you know? That's how I got so good at dank memes. That reminds me of when I wanted to be the best alcoholic. I used to train so fucking hard every day. Destiny, wouldn't that explain why so many people who are the greatest often fall off and get major mental problems in life because they dedicate everything aside? I mean, it's possible, sure, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that if you were to go back and ask those people, they would always say that it was worth it. All those people that killed themselves, you know, going after that one thing. I mean, assuming that they got to the level that they wanted to. Like the one dude who wanted to do more cocaine than any other person on the planet. Wow. All right. I love all of you very much. I'm not gonna say a movie where a boy wants to be a great musician as a drummer. What do you call... There are so many fucking dumb jokes like that. What do you call a drummer whose girlfriend just dumped him? Homeless.